Welcome to Video 9 for Honors Pre-Algebra Blended Course. Section 2.2 talks about adding integers. Remember that integers are positive and negative whole numbers. It's very important to pay attention to the signs when working with integers, which is why I need to put on my glasses. There are several ways to teach students how to add integers. One of the ways is to teach a rule like to add integers with different signs, subtract their absolute values. The sum is a positive if the positive integer's absolute value is greater. The sum is negative if the negative integer's absolute value is greater. Another strategy is to use a number line. Drawing a picture is a great problem-solving strategy. Yet another way is to think of a money problem, which is Professor Spady's favorite method. Let's try some challenge problems.
So of course your textbook doesn't give you any problems as challenging as the next three that I'm about to give you. So that's my job as your teacher, is to provide you with a little bit of a challenge and pushing your thinking when it comes to working with integers. So the next three problems I'd like for you to write in your notebook, and if you want, pause the video and see if you can get the answer without listening to me explain it step by step, and then go ahead and hit play to see how you did. So the first thing you want to pay attention to are the double negatives. So both of those negative signs go with the 6, and then of course any sign goes with the number after it. And so I'm going to circle the -4 here, and then the plus and the -5 or -5 go together. So now that I have everything grouped together, I'm going to pay attention to those two negatives right there. Two negatives make a positive. It's just like saying the opposite of -6, which is a +6. So now I'm going to tell myself a money problem. You owe me $4, and then you borrow another $5, and then you pay me back 6. So if you owe me 4 and you owe me 5, that means you owe me $9. But then you pay me back $6, so now you only owe me $3. And then finally, if you borrow another 7 from me, you owe me 10 total. -10 is the answer to this first problem. Again, go ahead and write down this problem in your notebook and see how far you can get with the problem before listening to me explain everything, and then go ahead and hit play to see how you did. I'm going to start by circling each term with the signs in front of it. So that 3 there is a -3. This 5 here, sometimes I say -5, sometimes I say -5. That minus sign goes with the 5. These two go with the 7. This minus sign goes with the 12, so it's -12. And then all of these signs go with the 10 there. Notice that every single plus and minus sign is grouped with the number to the right. And even if that includes several, like on this last term. So, first of all, I'm going to pay attention to any double negatives right here. That's 2 negatives. That becomes a positive. And then right here we have 2 negatives that become a positive, but this negative sign is still going to apply to that 10. So we have -3, -5, -12, and -10. And so if I add those all together, I get -30. -3 and -5 is -8, and -12 is -20, and -10 is -30. And then if I have that +7 in there, don't forget about that +7, we get a -23. For our last problem here, lots of parentheses, lots of negatives. Again, my strategy for doing these problems is to always group those terms by putting the plus or minus sign with the next number to the right. So those 3 negatives go with the 7. Those 2 negatives go with the 8. Those 3 negatives go with the 6. And those 2 negatives go with the 4. Notice that nothing is left out of being circled. And now I can go through and join the double negatives to be positive. There's double negatives there, positive. There's double negatives here, but there's still that leftover negative that will be -7. The -5 is still there. 2 negatives here become a positive, but we have a negative sign still left, so that's a -6. And then we have +4 and +8. So the commutative property allows me to move things around, so I'm just going to take care of my negatives first. If you owe me 6 and borrow another 7 and then borrow another 5, you owe me $18. And then if you pay me back 4 and you pay me back 8, that's a total of paying back of $12, which equals -6. Now, I would venture to say that if you'd ask any adult if they ever have to solve these types of problems in their current job, you wouldn't get too many people that say yes. However, I would venture to say that all of them would say something to the fact that they have to pay attention to details in their jobs. And so these little negatives and positive signs, they do make a difference, and you have to pay attention to those details to arrive at the final answer, just like many people in their profession have to pay attention to those little details, and so that the end product comes out the way they want it to. Hopefully these 3 challenge problems helped you pay attention to those negative signs and helped you become better at adding integers.
Here's a little ending humor. Why do the Slytherins cross the road twice? Because they are double crossers.